Hi, welcome to our channel of IGNOU Audiobooks, Indira Gandhi National Open University, School of Sciences, SOS, Diploma in Aquaculture, DAQ, Compulsory Courses, BAQ 1 Basics of Aquaculture, Block 1 Introduction to Aquaculture, Unit 5 Prospects of Aquaculture for Future Development, 5.1 Introduction. Aquaculture is a budding enterprise in most parts of the world. It is growing very rapidly in many countries of the world and is maintaining its position as one of the faster growing food production activities in the fray. In sharp contrast with the 10,000-year-old history of traditional agriculture, much of the aquaculture activities have developed only during past 3 to 4 decades. There is a serious lack of entrepreneurial knowledge and experience in aquaculture. The lack of training at all levels is obvious. In some areas, there are also legal, political, and environmental opposition to aquaculture development. Even in areas where sufficient knowledge and support services are available to facilitate development of profitable aquacultural pursuits, competition for land and water often becomes constraining factor. Despite these negative reflections, however, the future prospects for aquaculture are indeed very good. Objectives. After studying this unit, you should be able to times explain about negative reflections of aquaculture which are to be looked into. Times describe the aspects which are to be emphasized for future development of aquaculture. Times discuss the right approach for encasting the full potentials of aquaculture, and Times explain the importance of training input in aquaculture. 5.2 Challenges in aquaculture. Each and every forecast made for aquaculture in the new millennium provides a major challenge, while offering, at the same time, a host of opportunities, although these will differ to a greater or lesser extent between nations, regions, and continents. There is a clear call for the development of suitable strategies, be they national, regional, or interregional, where the sharing of information is commonly highlighted. To be concise, the global strategies may be twofold: to increase aquaculture production significantly so that it continues to have an impact on food security, employment generation, and social equity, and times for all development to be sustainable and environmentally sound. In order to achieve these primary objectives without compromising any of the basic goals of aquaculture, there are common challenges come strategies that the sector will have to face. The major ones are the following: 5.2.1 Technical challenges. The individual technical challenges and the research and development needs of the sector are treated under separate themes within this unit. Foremost amongst these are times genetic improvement of major aquatic species used in aquaculture, times feed developments, encompassing both a decreasing dependence on fish meal as a major protein source in feeds and a lowering of nitrogen and phosphorus in effluent, and times improvements in the health management of cultured organisms. The genetic improvement of cultured aquatic organisms has lagged behind considerably other food production sectors, i.e., plant crops and animal husbandry. Amongst the species reared, some improvement in performance has been achieved through genetic selection in only two fish groups, namely salmonids and tilapia. 5.2.2 Role of government. The role of government will undoubtedly be the most variable element in the aquaculture development. The suggested roles for government range from zero involvement to complete control of aquaculture development. In the early years of this millennium, national governments will have to make crucial decisions concerning the sector, particularly in regard to its role in extension services and active participation in regional and interregional institutions. Governments will also need to establish suitable policies to facilitate and augment aquaculture development and, most of all, remain alert to the establishment of fair legislation and not be subject to the dictates of various lobbyists. Governments need to accept that regulatory frameworks have to be fair whilst being responsible and responsive to identifiable problems and constraints. The governmental role has to go beyond mere policing of the sector's activities and be developed so that it encompasses working hand in hand with practitioners. To be more effective than in the past, government should make investments in partnerships where appropriate and needed in order to solve common problems. 5.2.3 Interregional cooperation. It is often conceded that the Asian dominance in global aquaculture is partly a result of effective cooperation amongst the nations of this region, especially in facilitating the transfer, adoption, and extension of technology. A significant part of this is due to the institutional frameworks that were established over 20 years ago and have become increasingly effective, leading the nations through the path of sustainable development. It is important, and indeed crucial, that governments give sufficient recognition to the sector. It is a fact that the sector has almost always played second fiddle to agriculture and fisheries, for instance. While recognizing that, in most countries, agriculture contributes more than aquaculture to the gross domestic production, GDP, it is timely that governments recognize both the contribution and the development potential of the sector, providing the recognition it deserves in national planning and policy development. 5.2.4 Culture-based fisheries. As pointed out previously, the availability of resources, land and good quality water, for expansion of area allocated to aquaculture is likely to be small. Consequently, the majority of the production increases foreseen will have to be obtained through increased productivity. Culture-based fisheries are attractive to most environmental groups as the activity entails little to no manipulation of the environment. A good example of the effectiveness of culture-based fisheries is increasing fish production is China. Many nations are now examining the possibilities of using inland lakes and reservoirs to improve and/or start culture-based fisheries. Indeed, this subject is seen as a major means of enhancing fish production, and it is estimated that this form of aquaculture is one of the fastest expanding sectors of fisheries. The aims will differ between nations and regions since, in the developed world, sport fishing will be the main result while, in developing countries, culture-based fisheries provide an easy access to a source of animal protein. Culture-based fisheries, however, will continue to use exotic species where appropriate, e.g. where the exotic species already exists or where environmental impacts have been minimal. Exotic species have often proven to be the ones that give the most effective and profitable yields. In general, most successful stocking and enhancement programs involve both introduced and native species. 5.2.5 Education, Training and Extension. The education and training needs of global aquaculture, as well as the extension requirements, will be different within the regions following the degrees of sectoral development. For example, in Asia, training and education is fairly satisfactory at the farmer level, this being an ongoing activity facilitated by regional bodies. In most regions, extension workers have a very strong commodity and/or discipline-oriented background. In view of the envisaged aim that aquaculture should move rapidly towards sustainable development, a more holistic approach would need to be superimposed over the classic methodology. Regional institutions are likely to play an increasingly important role in providing guidance at the national level in this regard. Certain regions are perhaps ready for the next step forward, which can only be achieved through technological advances and development. In Asia, on the other hand, a contrasting situation is to be seen. While there is already a large amount of knowledge available on small-scale rural aquaculture, the dissemination of this knowledge to practitioners is, unfortunately, less effective than desired. On the other hand, Asia will also need to prepare for the next technological leap, which calls for a rationalization of its education programs, and the acquisition of critical mass of researchers. In view of the rapid developments concerning communication using information technology, the sector will have to be increasingly innovative in the methods of the dissemination of knowledge. 5.2.6 Marketing issues. Marketing issues are common to both rural and industrial aquaculture, but the manner of their handling may be different. These are issues that are common to the sector in both developed and developing countries. It is not uncommon for sectoral analysts to refer to aquaculture products as being high and low valued commodities. In the past 5 to 10 years, some notable changes have occurred within the national and international markets or aquaculture products, where the specific examples of Atlantic salmon, European sea bass, and tilapia can be cited. These changes are not only in respect of prices but also the market destinations. The prices of Atlantic salmon and European sea bass have diminished considerably, -53% in both cases. On the other hand, tilapia, once mooted as the aquatic chicken of the 1980s and the poor man's fish, Smith-Pullen, 1984, has established a position within the supermarkets in developed countries. The success of tilapia is, without doubt, linked to the provision of fillets at a reasonable price, giving consumer satisfaction, where aquaculture production has increased but is not associated with concurrent market development. Market crashes can occur. 5.3 Future development. In the new millennium, it is expected that the basic paradigm change will be from that of increasing production at almost any cost to that of attaining 11 sustainable increase in production with minimal environmental disturbance. With these paradigm changes, aquaculture will increase its contribution to food security, poverty alleviation, and social equity. The most significant driving force for aquaculture development in coming decades will be the rapidly expanding world population, leading to the increasing demand of aquacrops. In a country like India, owing to accentuating modernity, religion will hardly be able to hold its restrictions on feeding habits of the people. Nutritional awareness, particularly the switch over from red to white meat, coupled with rising per capita income in the coming decades, will cause appreciable upsurge in fish-eating population of the country. The situation will, naturally, compel mobilization of all the available channels of food production. The growing mass awareness towards potentials of aquaculture will make everybody realize that aquaculture's advantage over other farming systems, agriculture and livestock raising, in being more efficient with regard to land, feed and energy utilization, and also that the production potential of aquaculture as the cheapest source of animal protein is second to none. In order to realize the potential of aquaculture in greater measure during the coming decades, desired efforts would ensure. Major emphasis of future development will be on the following issues. 5.3.1 Shift from extensive to say-ly intensive system. Land, water, seed and feed are the basic inputs involved in aquaculture production. Times. Additionally, in an effort to whip up yield, energy is also added to the production process. The combination of all these factors together dictates the product quality and its final value. In extensive aquaculture systems, large areas are used with low stocking densities. The yield rates are generally meager. In developing countries, therefore, the method will get gradually replaced by semi-intensive methods for taking optimal benefit of technology potential. Integration of aquaculture with agriculture of livestock raising will also play an important role in such endeavor. Intensive aquaculture is expected to be practiced by progressive aquafarmers. 5.3.2 Ranching of open waters. Ranching of open waters, i.e., enhancement of fisheries by stocking open waters. With juveniles of finfishes and shellfishes is a major fisheries developmental agenda of many nations. The technique holds good both for enhancing commercial as well as recreational fisheries. In a country like India, the technique holds immense potential for augmenting production of reservoirs and lakes. 5.3.3 Awakening towards environment protection. The impact of aquacultural endeavor on environment will be decisive in determining the growth of aquaculture in coming years. With the current level of waste treatment technology, the treatment of water discharged from land-based aquaculture work out quite expensive. This is largely due to the fact that great amounts of water with very low concentration of nutrients are being discharged. In other words, the quantity of nutrients per unit volume is low, but their absolute quantity is high because of the water volume involved. In such a situation, the most appropriate option perhaps would be to make increasing use of used water in aquafarms. 5.3.4 Greater stress on sewage-fed aquaculture. With rising population, disposal of waste, particularly in metropolitan cities, is becoming a problem of major concern. The problem, unless appropriately tackled, is going to become more grave in coming decades. In due appreciation of its serious repercussions, there is a growing awakening towards using aquaculture as a tool for treatment of sewage water. Culture of duckweeds and other macrophytes in sewage water and subsequently its incorporation in finfish shellfish culture has shown very encouraging results. The system is likely to assume significant importance in the immediate future. 5.3.5 New candidate species for aquaculture. Though the number of species under aquaculture is continuously increasing, aquaculture activities in most countries are dominated by a few species such as carps in China and India, oysters and mussels in Japan, the Republic of Korea and France, milkfish in Philippines and Indonesia, and so on. In order to meet the challenges of coming years, the number of aquatic species cultivated and eventually domesticated will increase as new technology becomes available. This will be achieved by intensifying the R&D efforts. 5.3.6 Resorting to effective mechanisms for transfer of technology. It is often seen that proven aquaculture technologies are not performing well when they are transferred to actual users. This is more so in developing countries. The example of a country like India in this respect stands all the more glaring. Against the demonstration of a new high in carp production of 17.2 tons per year, the present national average of carp production stands at 2,180 kilograms per year, covering a water area of 3.87 lakh ha. The picture obviously testifies the fact that Indian fisheries is a poorly managed sector with a rich resource base. More than anything else, the main reason for this is that acute training inputs will be made available to the clientele in a more systematic manner as a consciously and meticulously planned process. 5.4 Summary. In this unit, you have learnt that times aquaculture is growing very rapidly in many countries of the world and is maintaining its position as one of the fastest growing food production channels in the fray. In sharp contrast with the 10,000-year-old history of traditional agriculture, in spite of its roots dating back to 4,000 years, much of the aquacultural activities have developed only during past 3 to 4 decades. The main constraining factors in the growth of aquaculture will be competing usage of available waters such as for recreational activities, conservation of endangered marine mammals and growing industrialization with its resulting pollution. Main challenges in aquaculture development are technical challenges, interregional cooperation, culture-based fisheries, training and marketing. In order to realize the potentials of aquaculture in greater measures during the coming decades, the future course of action will include shift from extensive to semi-intensive systems of aquaculture, 2. Ranching of open waters, 3. Greater concern for protecting environment, 4. Stress on sewage-fed aquaculture, making use of new candidate species for aquaculture. 6. Resorting to more effective training input and so on. Thank you for watching. We will see you in the next video with the next chapter.